Hi everyone, in this video we'll be working on lizard skin sound control, ceramic, and Upol Raptor. Hi everyone and welcome to the channel about kit cars and other car topics. If you like what you see, please subscribe, hit the notification buttons below, and share with others on social media. So this is going to be a multi-day process where we're going to go ahead and shoot lizard skin, sound control, ceramic, and the Upol Raptor bed liner to kind of tie it all in together. And due to the way that I'm doing it, how much I have to mask off, also the curing times for each product, it just has to be spread out over a few days. So for sound control, we're looking at 24-hour cure time. Or at least before you could shoot something else. Ceramic is 36 hours, and then the Upol Raptor is actually 7 days to fully cure. And since that's the end of the process, I'm using the 7 days. I'm sure by the end of the day it's fully touchable. But in any case, what I need to do is get my panels prepared. I'm not shooting all the areas of the panels, but most of the areas of the panels. So I need to give them a good cleaning and wash. And then I need to sand the areas that we're going to be working on. And then after that, we'll be masking them. And then we'll be shooting some product. So I'm not sure if this will all fit in one video since it's going to be a multi-day process, probably a good 8-9 hours worth of time to do all this stuff. But we'll see where it goes. And if not, it will be in the next consecutive video. So now that I'm done sanding, I'm going to go ahead and start masking off all the areas of the frame that are going to be meeting these panels so it'll fit nice and flush. And then hopefully tomorrow night I'll be shooting the sound control version of lizard skin, which needs to go on first. And if you haven't seen it before, I have a video before where I shot all the lizard skin and kind of went through the whole process in somewhat detailed, showing every aspect of mixing it and everything. So if you want to go through that process, just look up lizard skin on my channel and you'll see the other one. It's a nice bright blue panel on the thumbnail. So in any case, let's go ahead and start masking stuff off and get ready. All right, so it's a different day, and we're getting ready to shoot the lizard skin sound control. First thing I need to do is do some wax and grease remover, wipe down all the panels, and then get them ready, and then prepare the lizard skin and get ready to shoot. Now, I'm not going through the whole process of all that. I'm just kind of showing you an overview, but if you do want to see that whole process, just look up, Street Rod Gym lizard skin, and you'll see the thumbnail with the big blue item on there, and you can check out all the nuances of that. Let's get started. All right, so I wanted to give you a kind of a close-up of what we got. We've got some really nice clean edges. We're everywhere where the frame is going. The edges are nice and clean. So this is the most difficult one. This is the top of the rear trunk. That's basically where the battery goes, right in the middle there. There's a big steel panel underneath that, and so that's what that is. This is part of my trans tunnel. This is the floor panels inside the car. And then this is in the trunk area. And this is the drive shaft. There's the wad of tape. Here's all the inside panels inside the cockpit, plus one of the trunk panels there. And then of course the trans tunnel, which is nicely coated on the inside. So Now I have to remove these two panels here that are underneath the car. So these are underneath the car. This is what's different with version 2. This is underneath the car. There's insulation in here, and then you have your top panel. And so these, I'm going to actually, I'm not doing sound control on these, but I'm actually doing ceramic and the undercoating. And the main reason is because the muffler is right underneath. So I need to pull these, but I also need to pull my mufflers right now because they're bolted through these panels. So I got to pull that off today and get that prepared. It looks like they're already sanded, so I must have sanded them a while back. And pull those out, get those ready for ceramic. And, I have no more space. So I got to find out where I'm going to be putting these panels. And here's the station. Keep the floor clean. Keep the floor clean here. There's not really a lot of overspray with this stuff, so it's not too bad. The only reason you're seeing a lot of overspray here is because I was spraying little tiny parts. But if you're doing big panels like this, there's really not much overspray that hits there. You can see from back in the day, my original panel outlines was that was the amount of overspray, so it's really not that bad at all. And last thing I wanted to show you was the chart that I made up. So this is a revision behind, but it had laid out exactly where I was going to put lizard skin, the ceramic, the undercoating, stuff like that. So I created my own sheet to do that with. Let's get cracking. All right, so here's the floor panel that came out. Now, these panels are going to be shot totally different than the other ones. All the other ones are going against the frame, and as you can see here, here's where the frame is. However, we're not shooting on this side that's touching the frame. We're actually shooting on the side that is facing the ground, which there is no frame in the way, just the holes for the rivets. So I'm going to have to figure out exactly how I want to approach it, but what I might want to do is, since the frame is here, is still tape off for the ceramic and then have the Upol go on top and then slim down for where the holes are so the rivets could get through easier. Otherwise I think it's going to be a little bit of a nightmare. So we're going to possibly go that route, but I'll think about that a little bit more. So it's a little later the day from when I was taping, and I wanted to get the taping all out of the way so when I came in here I could just focus on spraying. And I'm doing the ceramic right now, and the ceramic's a little different than the sound control in the sense that it sprays totally different, but also it stains and it's really hard to clean. So I'm definitely making sure I got long sleeves, I got gloves on, and then I got to keep my tools wet the whole time and try to clean them up as much as possible afterwards. So I'm going to keep going, make it as efficient as possible, see what happens. Alright, so I wanted to show you, see all that gray like soot? That's actually the ceramic, I don't know if you call it beads or whatever it's in there, but I would say it's consistency of like cake batter mix with nothing in it, or like Arm & Hammer powder, baking soda. Now this panel has ceramic only. There's no sound control on it. And you can see it's definitely a crustier type and very thick panel. But in general, when you pull back, you know, it's a nice even spray. Now over here we have some, this has the sound control and the ceramic on top. And it looks pretty much the same, you know. You don't notice that big of a difference between with or without. But except that, you know, it's a little thicker, so you can see that's getting on a little bit thicker. So, you know, and then now I got 2 piles of tape. It's very good. So after this, we have to let it cure for about 36 hours. And then I'm going to spray some bed liner. Hopefully I can get some more color because I need some more paint to get the blue color, which you see right there. And then that will kind of seal most of the stuff up. I'm going to hit all the important spots first, and that way if I run out of material or color, I don't have to worry about some of the parts that are not going to be seen or not really going to be hit with water. The other thing I would say is, you know, the way this stuff works is it's all based off of percentages and grams by weight, and so, or ounces by weight, actually grams by weight. And so, you know, factoring all that in to know how much paint I'm getting is going to take a little calculation, but I'm pretty much out of paint since my scale broke last time when I poured too much in. So I'm not sure if I need to pour a little extra in to kind of match what I did before. So that's kind of what we're going to be doing. All right, so I'm about 24 hours into the cure. I got another 12 hours to go for this before I could spray over this. But there's a pretty decent sized lip. If I grab this one, see there's a pretty decent sized lip, but I could actually smooth it out, and then when I lay my undercoating on, it's going to smooth out a little bit, and that's just going to fill in the color so there's no color gaps between the frame and my actual pieces. So we're going to just do a little touch up, verify a few of the fitments to make sure that we're getting a full coverage of what we need to cover, and then we'll start taping off and get ready to shoot for tomorrow. All right, so you're going, this guy's nuts for putting that much detail into it. But that's what I'm trying to do. And some of the parts that I really spent a lot of time on, the last few parts that you saw in the video, those are what I call the money shots, the money panels, where you look under the car and, you know, it's going over the axle and it's just beautiful under there. There's definitely some floor pans that show that off too, and then there's other panels that are, you know, buried behind the side of the body, so you won't see that stuff. But if you do take it off, it will look really cool for whatever reason. But also, you know, the lizard skin is not waterproof. It's not made to be outside in the elements, and so putting this undercoating on top of that just kind of seals it all up and makes it totally bulletproof. So, you know, not literally bulletproof, but you know, that's the kind of attention to detail I want to put on this car. And you know, I'm hoping that when I'm done with this thing, that it is a award-winning show car. That's what I'm hoping for. You know, I don't really want to, hopefully I don't do all this work and I throw it away at the last second on the paint job. I really don't want that to happen. So hopefully this thing comes out spectacular, and can't wait to get this finished and hopefully get some answers on the body work and start moving forward on this thing.